Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are feeling blessed today. My name is Justine. In today's video we shall be looking at the inconveniences or the disadvantages faced by new DV immigrants in the United States of America. In a previous video we saw the advantages of having the green card through the DV program, for those new immigrants who have who are now living in the United States. So, and like the saying goes, every coin has two sides. So that was one side that we saw. Today we are going to look at the other side of the coin. So for all the disadvantages or the inconveniences that I have outlined, many, if not all, new immigrants of the DV, they face these problems. Okay, so maybe some people may face maybe just one, but very rare, because the majority they face almost all of these problems. So the number one, or the first one that I'm going to start with, is the language problem. We all know that the language of the United States is English, and that some of us were fortunate to study primary, secondary, university, and even our work language was English language. But to our greatest surprise, when we come here, we have communication and understanding difficulties, because when we speak, the Native Americans, they don't understand us, and when they speak too, we also have difficulties in understanding them. So it's not a problem of grammar, that we don't know how to speak English or whatsoever. It's just simply a problem of understanding the way they pronounce their words, the way they speak. Because first of all, Americans, they speak very fast. Like when they want to say something, in a twinkle of an eye, they have already said it, and you are like, what? So that is one of the major difficulties or inconvenience that new immigrants face when they get to the United States. So usually when you have a call on the phone, when they speak, you can barely understand what they are saying, because I bet you they speak so fast, and you knowing that you know English language. So what is the problem? So you shouldn't blame yourself that you're not understanding them or whatsoever. It's just going to take time for your brain to process and adjust. So with time, you're going to be understanding them, and then you too, on your own part, you are going to try to be speaking clearly, trying to pronounce some of the words in such a way that they too can understand you. So that is just the solution to this particular inconvenience or disadvantage. Yes, the English language. So you don't have to worry yourself. With time, you're going to get over it. Yeah, it's not that you are not educated, because at times when you write something in English, they're like, wow, you write English very well. But when you have to communicate with them now, there is this misunderstanding. They can't get you. So, and they keep saying, please say it again. What did you say? And it's very, at times it's very embarrassing. And generally people have the tendency of running away from them, but that is not the solution. The solution is to keep going to your appointments that you have to go, picking the phone calls when you have to pick, because it's only by doing these activities repeatedly that your brain is going to process and readjust, and you begin to understand them better. All right, so the second difficulties. So please, the difficulties, they are not like in order of arrival, but is I just try to put them in such a way that the ones that most and majority people face, right? Yes. So the second one that we are going to look at is getting a job directly using your certificates that you brought back from Africa. So that is another disadvantage or difficulties. So it's very difficult for you to get a job directly with your documents that you brought from Africa, your certificate, your diplomas, and whatsoever, because the American system, they are new, they don't know you, so they cannot just take you with what you have brought and then put you into their system to start working. So they have to scrutinize. You have to do an equivalence of whatever you have brought, and if it's in a particular profession, you might need to take a board exam, because here in the US, most professions, you need to take an exam in the state where you live before you can start exercising in that profession. So some of them call it licensing, others call it certificate, and whatsoever. So depending on what your specialty, what you were working, what you were doing, you might, after having the equivalence in the American system, now you can go to take those exams. So, and all of that will take quite some time, and during that time you cannot sit and cross your hand in the house. So you have to go out there and start looking for alternative means to start making some dollars, right? So the kind of works that are available now are the job that they train you, they do on the job training, and you start working immediately. And while they are training you, they are paying you. So you just have to be patient. And if there's a way, after winning your DV, you can always try to start this process early enough so that when you come here, you will not have to spend so much time doing things that you don't really want to do. All right? So, point number 3, the dressing lifestyle in America. You know, back in Africa, at least in some countries that I know, when people are going to work, they really take their time to dress up, right? Like they have to press their trousers or pants, like the Americans call it. They press it with the iron. It's very straight. They press everything. They are looking so good. They put on their suits. They have their ties, you know, their belts, everything. The ladies, they are on high heels, you know, everything, and they have their handbags. So when you come here, you've gathered, like, some people are really good at that. They gather their clothes, everything, you know, that yes, I'm going to America, I'm going to be, at least they'll know that somebody too important has come. And the first day, let's say the first day that you go to work, where you get to work all dressed up, you get there and you see people in their baggies, their shorts, their tennis, their t-shirts, you know, just wearing some kind of pullovers or sweaters. Man, you're like, wonderful. What's happening to these people? Maybe today is not a very good day for them, I think so. And every day when you go to work, you see the same scenario. So at one point, it's like, man, seems as if I'm over-dressing to come to this work. So you begin to feel uncomfortable. So that is one of the things that are going to make you uncomfortable, or that can make you uncomfortable. But this one does not make everybody uncomfortable. There are some people that, even if everybody is wearing rag, he will still decide to wear his suit. He doesn't care with his tie and his pair of shoes or the high heels and whatever. They don't care. But most people will really feel like, no, let me go, let me do what the Romans are doing, right? They say when you are in Rome, do what the Romans are doing. And they are going to put all of those overdressed clothes by the side. They will get jeans and t-shirts and tennis, easy going dresses. So that is one of the inconveniences that you are going to face. So another inconvenience is transportation difficulties. So unlike what we usually saw on TV, that America is train passing everywhere, you know, buses are always passing. Those things happen only in very big cities like New York, Dallas, some kind of very big cities. So, but in the most part of United States, you don't have that kind of movement, hustling and bustling movement like that. I mean, like for the public transportation. So you don't have trains, buses passing all the time. No, it's only in some few big cities that you can have that. So what happens now in this other part that do not have those public transportation, the trams, the buses, the train? Most people have their personal vehicles, they have their cars. So it's like when you live in these places and you don't have a car, it's like somebody who do not have legs. Yeah, because wherever you want to go, you need to take a special means of a commercial means of transportation that they call the Uber. And each time you need to take the Uber, it is really expensive. Remember that you just came in, you are even still managing maybe a small job, and you are trying to economize, and all your money is going for Uber. So it's really going to be very disappointing. You're really going to feel bad. But you shouldn't, because in every situation you just need to learn to adapt. So what you should do is that you should just get yourself ready immediately. You go and write your driving test, so you too can have your own vehicle. Now another difficulties that people face is the indoor lifestyle. So I call it indoor lifestyle or individualistic lifestyle. So the way people live in America is that everybody is always inside the house. It is very difficult to see somebody outside. You can see somebody outside when he's going to enter his car to go to somewhere. Unlike back in our places where when you get up in the morning, you need to wake up and then you wave the neighbors. Oh, Mommy, John, Papa, Mommy, Mary, Papa, John. You are greeting people, you know, when you wake up from sleep in the morning, or you just stand in front of your door, people are passing, people are moving along the street. Here it's very difficult to see people just moving like that, because I already told you that most people have their cars. So it's difficult to see them walking on foot like that. It's difficult. You can have just some few cases. It's so difficult. So that is one of the things that can be very frustrating, especially this one, because we did not grow up in this kind of system where people are like, it's like they are locked in their houses. We are used to the open system. Even the kids, it's difficult to see them or to send them outside to go and play, because there is just nobody. So at one point you can even be afraid that you can send your kids out and they get kidnapped, right? So you better keep them inside the house. And fortunately there are playgrounds, where free public playgrounds where you can take the kids there. They go there and play. That's where all the kids go and play. They don't play in the quarters in front of the house. So, and then you as a parent too, you don't just get out from your apartment or from your house and you stand outside and then you are looking at people. No, it doesn't work that way here. Yes, so each person, when you are going out, is for a purpose. You should be in your house thinking about your future and your life, you know, your ambitions, your plans. So that is how it works here. Another inconvenience that some people are going to face is the fact that people, this one is also related to the previous one, people live far apart from each other. So when I say people live far apart, I mean people that you know, right? Just imagine the United States is made up of 50 plus states. So it's almost like more than half of North America, right? So it's 50 plus countries coming together to form one. So it's a very vast country, but the population is not too vast compared to the land size of the country. So this makes it difficult for people to be recruited in one area. So you can even be living in the same state with your family members or your very close friends, childhood friends, but each person is living in his own part in the same state. To leave from your place to go to another person's place, you need to drive for hours before you get to the person. So you see that it is still, like I said, related to the previous part, this individualistic kind of lifestyle. So it's only when you have a very pressing problem that even your sister or your brother or your friend can pay you a visit. Yes, if not, you can stay in the United States with your brother in the same state, even for 1 year, 2 years, without seeing each other. Is possible. If you don't have family meetings where people are compelled to attend, you can stay like that without seeing each other. Each person is in his own side, busy, struggling to make ends meet. Now, another thing that can be very, very inconvenient to the new immigrants is, and even to the old ones, this one is for almost everybody, is that the health system in the US is very, very expensive. Meaning that when you are sick, if you need to go to the hospital and pay the money from your pockets, it's going to be really, really expensive. So what happens is people now tend to go to insurance company, and they are paying some amount of money to the insurance companies, and the companies now guarantees them that, okay, if you're sick, you go to the hospital, I'm going to take charge of the bills, then you just pay a little portion. But every month you have to pay that amount, especially if you have kids, because when you have kids, kids are always, you can never tell, they have some kind of small sicknesses, so you must get them that coverage. So every month you have to be paying that money for the coverage. But if you are a single person, for example, and you're very young, usually we used to say we are strong and whatsoever, you know how you can manage it. Yeah, so that is one of the difficulties that some people are going to face. And not only the people that are coming, even those that have been here for long, they face that problem of health insurance, which is very expensive. Another problem will be having the rental history. So when you come into the United States and the person that received you was staying in, let's say, in an apartment in New York, then after like 3 months, you say, okay, you want to get your own place. It will be very difficult for you because you have never rented an apartment or a house in the US before. So before a landlord accepts you like his tenant, he needs to make some checks, right, to see that you are a loyal tenant, or you are somebody who pays his or her bills on time and usually pays in fact you are a serious tenant. If not, nobody's going to rent his house for you. So, but you are just coming into the United States. You have never rented a house. So where do you get that history from? So that is one of the difficulties that newcomers, they have, right? So, but now to overcome now these difficulties now, what happens is your host or your friend or your family member or anybody very close to you can help get the apartment for you. Then later on with time, you are going to build your own history gradually. Another disadvantage is the student loan. So we said in the other video that primary and secondary education, they are free, but higher education is not free and it's extremely expensive, and most parents cannot pay from their pocket, so they tend out to take student loan. So the student loan now, this one now will depend on your perception, okay, on how you perceive the student loan. because to some people the student loan is a good thing because it permits them to invest in themselves. Later on they can be very productive to look for more money. But other people perceive student loan as something negative, right? Because that, oh, you'll be working and you'll be paying money and whatsoever. So this one really depends on your personal perspectives. Now we have the climates. This is the last but not the least, the climates. From where most of us are coming from, we have fairly average warm temperatures throughout the year. Be it in the rainy season or in the dry season, our temperatures are fairly warm. They are not too cold. They can be hot but not too hot, or even if it's hot, our bodies are already adapted. But here they have different seasons, and the seasons that correspond to our own is what they call the summer season, where there is sun. So during the summer season, you can wear your casual outfit, you can wear sleeveless, you can wear shorts, and you are okay, you can move around, there is sun. But now during the spring or the fall season, the cold starts, and it gets worse during the winter season where we have snowfall. It's extremely cold, extremely cold. So if somebody happens to be traveling during the winter season, it's really going to be a shock for him, because there is that drastic change in the temperature, in the climate, from where he's coming from and where he is right now in the United States. So to overcome this, you just have to buy a lot of jackets, very thick jackets. That's what you need to keep yourself warm. You buy very thick socks to keep your feet warm. You wear, at times you can wear 2 or 3 trousers, yeah, to keep your bodies warm. So that is how you can do to overcome. All right guys, so this is what I also gathered for the inconveniences or the disadvantages of immigrating into the United States as a new DV immigrant. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and remain blessed.